kunzima kube mhlophe utheka umhlophe kube nzima ndikumamele ubomi bam ndikumamele Thixo wam ndikumamele ubomi bam kunzima kube mhlophe utheka umhlophe kube nzima ndikumamele ubomi bam andazi ndingathini ungekho ebomini bam nakumphefumlo wam andazi ndingathini uwe umkhokheli wam ndikumamele Thixo wam ndikumamele ubomi bam kunzima kube mhlophe utheka umhlophe kube nzima ndikumamele ubomi bam ndikumamele Thixo wam ndikumamele ubomi bam kunzima kube mhlophe utheka umhlophe kube nzima ndikumamele ubomi bam andazi ndingathini ndiqhube andisi iminqweno yam andazi ndingathini uwe umkhokheli wam ndikumamele Thixo wam ndikumamele ubomi bam kunzima kube mhlophe utheka umhlophe kube nzima ndikumamele ubomi bam kunzima kube mhlophe utheka umhlophe kube nzima ndikumamele ubomi bam kuthiwa nifuna ujayiva nyamazisana lwamosi kuthiwa nishushu nifuna ujayiva I'm tired of all the lies. You know you can't deny, 'cause you make me cry when you anything you do, anything you do. Said I'm tired of all your lies. You know you can't deny, song is my goodbye. Please don't ask me why. Said my heart is torn and tied. The song is my goodbye. Please don't ask me why.
Give over to the national chairperson. We are starting the formal program. The national chairperson will take over now. Amanda!
Amanda! Awethu! Matla! Arona! Matemba! Aina! All power. Comrades, we're using the Buffalo time. We're using the Buffalo time. We stick to time. What is going to happen now, we're going to allow Interfaith to pray. Silapa, Sizene Buffalo, Umbondo Zenyathi ngokwakhe, akafika ngu-unity. Ulapa uComrade Jesse, akafika nguComrade Ace, ulapa uComrade Paul. Yonke ke lemva kwemini nizawuphathwa ndim. Niyavuma ukulawuleka? Ndivumele ndilawule ngoxolo. Masiqale ke nge-Interfaith ukuqala umsebenzi. Over to you, Mfundisi.
We are going to call a Jewish prayer.
Shalom, Cape Town. I believe in miracles. I believe in miracles not just because as a rabbi I believe that God spoke to Moses from a burning bush, or that the waters of the sea opened for my ancestors to walk out of Egypt to freedom. I believe in miracles because I see them. I live through them. And one happened right here 28 years ago. I was 18 years old when Nelson Mandela walked out of Victor Verster prison. I had heard of him, but in my white apartheid bubble, it was mixed messages that I had received. terrorist, freedom fighter, hero, enemy of the state, communist, prisoner, leader. But a few months later, this newly released deputy president of the ANC accepted an invitation to speak at my synagogue in Johannesburg. And for this, my Rabbi Adia Sabi, Zichrono Livracha, received death threats. And the Friday night that Madiba spoke at our shul, the grounds were patrolled by armed guards. Who were we protecting ourselves from? Not from Nelson Mandela. He was charming, open-minded and gracious, and in his true form had everyone in that synagogue eating from his hands. Then who was the enemy that night? It was the fears and suspicions of what would happen if South Africa were to become a democracy, where every man and woman would have a vote in deciding their leaders, their president, and their future. It was the fear of believing in a future that included all people in the country. And it was the fear of believing that a black ANC comrade could rule South Africa and it would be okay, it would be right. It was the fear of believing in a shared future, a shared identity, and a shared culture and purpose. And a miracle happened. Because with the help of Madiba, his courage and leadership, this country embraced the possibility of believing in itself, of believing in its own miracle. And today, this country is thirsty. You said 5 minutes, right? It is thirsty for strong, inspirational leadership once again. This country needs leaders with the faith of Moses, the strength of Gideon, the wisdom of Solomon, the vision of Isaiah. Leaders who serve the people that have called them to serve. We are thirsty. So today I want to offer this prayer that we should have the leaders that we deserve. All of our leaders, may you hear the voice of Madiba in your head. May you hear the voices of Abraham and Sarah, David and Solomon, Deborah, Isaiah and Ezekiel, who called for a world transformed and a world redeemed. May you heed their call and may their call be your call. And together may we lead this country to believe in its own miracle once again. May it be God's will that our land be a blessing for all who live in it. V'nomar, and let us say, Amen.
I will hand over now to Chaplain General Dr. Charles Meana.
May I invite the Hindu prayers, please. We will pray, not make speeches.
This is the national Hindu prayer. Please close your eyes, hands together, and pray along with me. Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Satya Vitu Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nam Prachodayam. In English, this is interpreted as, O Lord, please grant us the light in our lives. Take us away from all the darkness and bring light into our lives. Bring intellect into our lives so that we could lead with intelligence.
Let's get to the Khoisan prayer.
Kaiches mire, Kai Gangans, Quick out say, Abu itse, Sida itse, Ida Sida ure, Sat Chawe, Sida itsau, Abu itsau, Quick out say, Abu itse, Quick out say, Abu itse, Sida kutse. Hey, Gangas, I say hare.
Inkolo kantu.
Tamagu,
Tamaku.
sizawuthandazanga ngesintu. isintu ke ikwayipart and parcel ethandaza uThixo ophilayo. Siyavumelana? Kamata Katai Mveli Ngangi Thixo wokhokho bethu. Namhlanje nasi isizwe silapha eParade. Sicela wena ke Kamata Katai uthobe imfefe nentsikelelo zakho apha kwesi sizwe seSouth Africa esaye sasikhululelwa ngutata wethu uNelson Mandela. Siyayibulela kakhulu ke lo mbeko nalo nceba wasenzela yona. Sithi yenza kubekho umahluko kwiSouth Africa. Yenza kubekho Kamata Katai imvisiswano. Siyabulela namhlanje ngoba sasilapha namhlanje siphinde salapha. Ndizawukhahlela ke komkhulu ndingabethwa azwe lonke. Azwe lonke. Tamaku.
Osima Ibenani. Let us pray. Here ons kom voor u aangesig vanmiddag in hierdie warme son en ons buig die knie van ons hart in alle eerbied. Ons dankie vir die deernis van die liefde en hoe ons uitreik na u deur ons gebare van eenheid onder die gelede van die volk. Ons vra dat daar waar ons strewe na 'n nuwe land, 'n nuwe Suid-Afrika, dat ons kennis sal dra vir die opoffering van Luxmaat en Dudley, van Basil February. Ons dankie vir die smart en angs en offering van Annie Salinga. Ons dankie vir die gees van Ashley Kriel in ons middele. En ons vra dat die pad vorentoe sal wees van eenheid, barmhartigheid en 'n diepe kennis van u liefde. Ons vra dit vir Afrika. Ons vra dit vir die Kaap, ons vra dit vir al die mense van die Kamisa. Here, hoor ons gebed, ons vra dit. Amen.
Amandla! Amandla! Brothers and sisters of Africa, come let us pray together. Avinu Shabashamayim, our Father in heaven. The Hebrew word for Amandla is koach, strength, power. The numerical value of koach is 28. 28 years ago today, you created a miracle for us here with the release of Tata Mandela to lead our country forward. Our Father in heaven, we ask you at this great pivotal moment that we should continue to go forward and grow together. And as the Lubavitcher Rebbe blessed our country just a few hours after Tata Mandela left, that Mashiach is coming very soon, the Messiah is coming. And it will be good in South Africa until Mashiach comes. And even better thereafter. We pray to you, Hashem, that we be blessed with health, with rain, with peace and prosperity, and all that we need. And may our government be blessed with the honor and integrity to lead us forward. And I'll conclude the prayer with a short melody in Hebrew together with Chani G, who will join me in song. Please join me together as we pray, as we sing, as we create vessels for God's greatest blessings.
Oh, say shalom. Give me a hum, guys. Hum. Bimroma. Oh, yeah, say shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'akol Yisrael ve'akol Drum Africa, Africa ve'imeru Amen. Tina na 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 na. Tina na na. na 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 na. Oh, 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 ah. Vemero, amen, amen.
God bless you. God bless South Africa.
Let us conclude these prayers. Gracious God, for these and many, many prayers of today, make us to relive this experience of this day, when South Africa and the world experience the meaning of freedom as it was personalized by Father Mandela. Let us now remember that Tata Mandela stands for the values of our freedom, stand for our values, our clean life, stand for the values of those who are least, of those who are poor, of those who need to be uplifted through the power of your Spirit. As we think about him today, we remember his family, where the family might be. We ask your healing hand to be with Mama Winnie Mandela. We ask for your love to surround them. Lord, we ask for all the work that Tata Mandela has done for us. Where he is, turn his eyes upon us today. Be with the President as he will be delivering his keynote address this afternoon. On that day, he held the mic to the mouth of Mandela. But today, make him to be the mouth of Mandela. Make in his mouth that he must bring in new hope for this country. Make him today to bring in new wave of positiveness and positive energy. Make through his mouth to give us the hope for the recovery of the economy of this country. Make through his mouth to stand for everything that is good governance in this country. Make through his mouth that he prophesy for the moral revolution of our people. Make through his mouth that all those who stand for wrongness, that they will come before you, God, and you know what to do with them. Make through his mouth that those who are hungry, they've got no place to stay, that through his mouth they get a new hope. Make through his mouth that this country is taken out of the time of uncertainty and anxiety, but deliver them to the time that they'll be sure of their future. We know that the world is watching this day. Let the world see through him and his words that South Africa is back again to take its rightful place in the League of Nations. Come, Holy Spirit, come. Come, Holy Spirit, come. And revive the South Africa that we know of yesterday. The day in 1994 we gave us that, yes, indeed, you are the God who listens to our prayers. Give us a bright future. We are hoping in you that's to take us by hand. Sinike kamvelicha. Hamba nathi Thixo wethu. Sikhokele Thixo wethu. Usinike okokuba siyazi okokuba njengoba unjalo 106 years ago. It shall be in the next 100 years ago, that those who are looking up to you through this day, they will get fulfillment. All these prayers and all that we ask, we know that you shall give to us in the name of peace and prosperity, now and forevermore. Amen.
No, wafaka. Kunzumani. Wavumela.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
In the name of God, most compassionate, most merciful.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.
All thanks and praise is due to God, the Lord of the world.
والصلاة والسلام على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين.
Peace and salutations to our beloved Prophet, sent as a mercy unto mankind.
صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم أجمعين.
May God be pleased with him, his family, and all his companions.
اللهم أنت السلام.
O God, you are peace.
ومنك السلام.
From you emanate all forms of peace.
واجعل بلدنا هذا عامرة مستقرة بالأمن والأمان.
Grant that our country of our South Africa is blessed with safety, security, and tranquility.
والاستقرار والسلام.
As well as contentment.
وجعلها سالمة من كل سوء يا رب العالمين.
Save it and protect it from all forms of evil.
اللهم بارك لنا في خيراتها.
Oh God, bless the resources of this particular country.
وثرواتها.
As well as all of its minerals and wealth.
وجعلها عونا وسندا للفقراء والمساكين والمحتاجين.
Make the natural resources of this country a means of assistance to the downtrodden and the needy and the poor of this particular country.
اللهم وفق حاكم البلاد.
Oh God, grant steadfastness to the east of our country, the leader of our country.
وجعله راشدا.
Grant him to be steadfast and grant him to be righteous.
عادلا.
Fair and just in all of his dealings.
وارزقه بطانة صالحة تعين على الحق والعمل به.
Grant him a ministership that will assist him to be righteous and fulfill his duty righteously.
يا من خلق السماوات والأرض.
O the one who created the heavens and the earth.
وإليه المرجع والمصير.
And to him is our final return and destination.
والحمد لله رب العالمين.
All thanks and praise be to God, Lord of the worlds.
أمان له. أمان له.
شكرا Amanda sizawucela ke otata bonke bothula iminqwazi. All men must take off their hats. We all stand. We're now going to sing the national anthem. Vuko hambe uphi? Onguwe. Ihlabe ke sisi. Amandla.
Two.
Away, two. Comrades, we must remember that 28 years ago on this day, Utata Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela wakhululwa eVictor Verster weza apha wathetha nabantu apha. Silapha ke ukubhiyozela loo nto namhlanje ukhumbula is part of what we call Charles a revolutionary pilgrimage, where we are visiting history yethu, inkokeli zethu, ijeni eseyanjwe yi-ANC. Ngoku ke singena kwinkqubo yespeech exactly 3 o'clock ngela xesha utata uRholihlahla wayethethana ngalo, upresident we-ANC will be talking to you. So as the speakers ngizazibiza ngoku with various messages ziyajuste kwelo xesha. Sizawuqala sicele uprovincial chairperson uKhaya Magaxo ektayo asamkele sonke. Where is Kaya? Kaya Magaxo awusamkele.
Amandla! Viva ANC, viva! Reclaim Western Cape ANC, reclaim! Down with the Democratic Alliance, down! Amandla! Viva President Cyril Ramaphosa, viva! Viva Comrade Cyril Ramaphosa, viva! Aibuye! Aibuye! Maibuye Western Cape, Maibuye! Thank you, comrades. Comrade President, comrade officials of the ANC, national officials, comrade leadership of the ANC, the new elected NEC, comrade the provincial leadership of the Alliance and the provincial leadership of the ANC, we greet you in this province. Comrades, members of the ANC and the supporters of the African National Congress, we welcome you to this rally where we remember Comrade President Mandela. We think that spirit, comrade, of reclaiming that leader, that leadership of Comrade Mandela will actually throw us out of this mess of the Democratic Alliance. We hope this spirit will rejuvenate us to go all out, to bury the Democratic Alliance once and for all, and we liberate this province from the demon of the racist party called Democratic Alliance, which is a conglomeration of the National Party and the DP, which are the parties of the apartheid. Therefore, today, we are here to reclaim this Western Cape as the African National Congress, and we'll go to each and every house and recommit ourselves. We welcome the leadership, for we also appreciate and grateful of the ANC leadership to identify the Western Cape as the launching pad of these 100 years of our living hero, Comrade Nelson Mandela. Amandla! Long live ANC, long live! Long live the fighting spirit of Comrade Nelson Mandela, long live! Mandla!
Amandla, i-alliance partners masondele ndifuna unifundela isicatshulwa esisuka kwileta written by Robben Island prisoners to Kabwe in 1985 about unity. City, in the course of the history of the ANC, the ANC has survived countless storms and risen to preeminence party because of the sterling quality of its members. So the ANC has, in the course of history, survived countless storms because of the sterling quality of its members. That is a credit given to you as members. Ubake membership equality ayo is not what was spoken about in Robben Island. We're letting down our leaders with this faith and belief on the members of the ANC. And the quality of the party, because each member has regarded himself or herself as the principal guardian of the unity. To lose sight of this basic principle is to sell our birthright and to betray those who paid the highest price so that the ANC should flourish and triumph. That message, comrade, is to you. It was written by prisoners from Robben Island in 1985, sent to Kabwe, but it is as relevant as then today. Each and every member of the ANC must actually accept that he or she is the guardian of unity of the ANC. And the Carib Airlines partners, Sango, Maisondel. Ikona. Kosatu, Maisondel. Yeah? Isango ikona ora iko. Nani kibeli koni kisango pick up. Ya pela. Yeah? Oh, mawai pak podium. Ai kwete nango kwete kuwe. Kwete nango kwete kuwe. Okay. Sango. Aiko kulungileke bakuze ikosatu, the Congress of South African Trade Unions. Amandla.
Amandla. Long live the African National Congress, long live. Long live Kosatu, 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 long live. Long live the South African Communist Party, long live. Long live Usanko, long live. Comrades, thank you very much. National Chairperson, we want to greet the leadership of the African National Congress led by President Cyril Ramaphosa and the collective of the NEC. The message from COSATU, we are saying as we celebrate the 28 years of the release of his Twalandwe, Utata Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, guided by the ANC 54th National Conference resolutions on unity, we are calling on the unity of the alliance. We are also saying as workers in South Africa led by COSATU, we want the African National Congress that is going to put the issue of jobs at the center of their own mandate. We also want the leadership of the ANC to also fight corruption without fear or favor. COSATU is also saying, amongst the issues that the ANC must further deal with, it is the position of COSATU on the recall of President Zuma. Comrades, COSATU is very clear as we move to the 2019 general elections. We want to give back the ANC to its own owners, the people of South Africa, and therefore, as we do that, we must listen to the people of South Africa. We must listen to workers when they are saying, for as long as we keep the president of the republic in power, the ANC's brand becomes damaged. President Cyril Ramaphosa, we are now on the election campaign. We have started. We are here to reclaim the Western Cape. Help us, the leadership of the ANC, to reclaim an ANC that is not corrupt, to reclaim an ANC that is not going to look at the personalities in order for them to fight corruption. Workers are at the receiving end of corruption. We are happy as workers in this country that since we have come back from Nazareth, we have seen a bit of stability in terms of our economy. It is because the world, including people of South Africa, have faith in the African National Congress led by President Cyril Ramaphosa. We are saying as COSATU, Sikhokele African National Congress, Sikhokele. Sipate Cyril Ramaphosa, Sipate. Sifuni misebenzi, singabasebenzi, sifuni misebenzi. Pambili ne national minimum wage, pambili. Amandla. Thank you very much.
Amanda. Amanda, sizawucela i-Communist Party ngoku isinike imessage yayo. Uyabona ke kwi-organization ithi ngoku ihamba i-organization kubekho ababambelele ebhedini abangafuni uhamba. Iyaqhuba i-organization iyaphambili babambelele ebhedini. Funeka uthi uyobakhupha ngezinja. Qhuba Communist Party.
Mandla! Kawethu! Long live the undying spirit of Nelson Mandela, long live! Phansi nge-corruption phansi! Mababotshwe ba-corrupt, mababotshwe! Mazibanjwe Guptas, mazibanjwe! Mazibanjwe Guptas, mazibanjwe! Mabesha ba-corrupt, mabesha! Viva SACP, viva! Viva SACP, viva! Wathini umama? Wathini imbokodo? Phansi ngoxhaphazo lomama phansi! Phansi ngoxhaphazo lomama phansi! Amandla! Kawethu! Viva President Silili, viva! Viva President Silili, viva! Amandla! Thanks, Comrade Chairperson, Comrade Gwete, the President of the ANC, Comrade Ramaphosa and the collective, the Alliance, and most important, Landimbane Yabantu Ilapa, the SACP, is here to deliver its message of solidarity. And we are saying we are honored as the province to host the centenary of Dr. Nelson Mandela. We are saying this centenary must represent nothing but the reclaiming of the city of Cape Town. This centenary must represent nothing but the reclaiming of the provincial legislature. This centenary must represent nothing but really and truly the organizational renewal of the ANC. And we are saying as long as the ANC continue to keep corrupt elements in its ranks, the whole question of renewal remains meaningless. The SACP want to register its message to say, the longer you keep President Zuma, the worse for our people and the worse for our revolution. We call on the ANC. We call on the ANC to expedite this question. And we are saying the matter of President Zuma to resign is not just an ANC matter. It is an alliance matter.
It is a societal matter. How we wish or we hope it will. The consultation currently underway, Zanzibar Alliance Collective. We are calling for the reconfiguration of the alliance. If the ANC was able to have a government of national unity, what is wrong to have a government of alliance unity as part of reconfiguring the alliance? The SACP want to register to say, on this question of a radical economic transformation, if radical economic transformation is about buying Range Rovers, Nizanza, tractor, that a radical economic transformation remains meaningless. Abantu bakuthi bafuna iteletele, abafuni Range Rovers. Because zange sasibona i-Range Rovers itsala amakhuba thina. Abantu bakuthi bafuna i-social grant and sithi abo ba-involve ekutsalweni kwe-airtime nemibane must be arrested. And we call on the ANC to act now to see to it that all ministers and officials linked to state capture to be removed now. The Gupta Brigade must go. It is time. It's time for the ANC-headed alliance in the Western Cape to see to it that it unites and it builds on campaigns. Already there are nominations of the chairmanship, even of the process, was saying we must prepare ourselves for elections next year. As the ANC and the alliance, as Funayo is a campaigning and a functioning alliance. Apa President, Ekapa, Ololiwe Abahambi. Apa Ekapa, Ololiwe Abahambi. We are not bewitched as a Tagatwanga. It is because of looting. It is because of corruption. It is because of friends of President Zuma. And those elements must be arrested. Amasele mbutweni wetu asitshela uPrasa, asitshela SAA, asitshela Eskom, and all of them must be charged. And we are going to have a problem. Ubangaba kwa negotiations zenu. Into yokuba nithi uPresident Zuma angachargwa, SACP sithi makaziphendulele achargwe ngemali yakhe, not ngemali yethu. Amandla.
Amandla. Isango ifike late. Sayisikele 3 minutes mayijikele pa. Sisebenza ngebuffalo time. Uba ngaba uqele isiqala late uzawuhayelelwa. Siqala on time sokuba 3 minutes sango khawuleza. Andonda ngakho kwethini.
Amandla. Program Director, President, NEC Provincial Leaders, on behalf of SANCO, we are privileged to be here today as an alliance. SANCO wishes the ANC the best for this program. We as SANCO know that the ANC's one most achievements was the ability to unite our people. Being here today is one of that achievements, only make it possible by the alliance that we have in Western Cape. Millions of people have benefited from the work that have been done by Comrade Nelson Mandela, who paved the road for us.
The ANC, with the strategic and tactics document itself, was a force, and it is part that it bias for working class and poor communities. Therefore, as SANCO, we wishes the ANC a success journey and to continue in the struggle for revolutionary democratic transformation. As SANCO, we want to say that to the Alliance, we were part and will always be supportive. And again, thank you for allowing SANCO to be part of this great movement. Amandla.
Wethu. Nkosi. Njengoba ke silinde into bake ngoku. Sawunika iBuffalo ithethe nani ngokwayo. Ngapha eMpuma Koloni simphe isikhahlelo sokuba ngumpondo zenyathi. Mamelani ke. Njengoba sibhiyozela le 100 years kaMandela. Uthi Oliver Tambo kayimchaza. As a man, Nelson is passionate, emotional, sensitive, quickly stung by bitterness and retaliation by insult and patronage. He is dedicated and fearless. Chaza uMandela ngolo hlobo. And ask nobana uDJ upena ngoba ndifuna ufaka enye ingoma apha ethi unity maqabane iphinde ithi phakama Ramaphosa onenhliziyo ebuhlungu imtye. Now ready? Are you ready faka? Sizisa ke ngoku umbono zenyathi ngokwakathethe nani bantu baseKapa. The Buffalo himself is going to be talking to you now.
Unity is universal. Unity is paramount. When one pursues a noble goal, unity in action is appropriate. Unity in line, unity is sacrosanct. My poetic verse, diversity. Year of Oliver Tambo, radical economic freedom. Yes, radical economic freedom. Unity, rock where our fathers built. Factionalism is a demon. Divisive tendency is a gloom in our movement. Build, stand, rise and shine. We are the descendants of great giants. Humility, commitment, and sacrifice. Unity is sacrosanct. Unity is universal. Unity, Makabani. Compatriots, long live, long live. Unity, Makabani. Unity, 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 makawani. Ikesha, ikesha lisondele. Pagama, pagama, makawani. Ikesha, ikesha li. Pagama, 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 makawani. Ikesha. Unity, unity, makawani. Ikesha, unity, 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 makawani. Ikesha, pagama, pagama, makawani. Ikesha.
Amandla! Amandla! Viva ANC, viva! Viva ANC, viva! Viva COSATU, viva! Viva SACP, viva! Viva SANCO, viva! Long live the spirit of Nelson Mandela, long live! Long live the spirit of Nelson Mandela, long live! Long live the spirit of Albertina Sisulu, long live! Amandla! Comrades and friends, I greet you in the name of the African National Congress. I extend my greetings to the national officials of the African National Congress, the National Chairperson, Gwede Mantashe, the Deputy Secretary General of the ANC, Comrade Jesse Duarte, the Treasurer General, Comrade Paul Mashatile, and all other members of the National Executive Committee who are here with us today. I also extend my greetings to the leadership of the African National Congress, COSATU, the SACP and SANCO in our province here in the Western Cape. I also extend my greetings to the leadership of our movement of regions of the ANC who have come from various parts of the Western Cape. And comrades, I greet all of you who are here and want to thank you for coming to this rally today as we retrace our step down memory lane. I also extend my greetings to the stalwarts and the veterans of our movement who are here with us today. Comrades, we meet here in this very historic place and this very momentous day to officially launch the centenary celebrations
of celebrating Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela's life. In this year, comrades, we also celebrate the centenary of Albertina Sisulu, a great daughter of the African soil who dedicated her life to the service of our people. Over the course of this year, we will be dedicating activities right across the length and the breadth of our country to celebrate and to recall the profound contribution that Umamu Albertina Sisulu made to the struggle for the rights of our people through her leadership of the ANC and other formations of the mass democratic movement. We will recall the great sacrifices that Umamu Albertina made, as well as the pioneering role that she played in the struggle for the emancipation of the women of our country. Comrades, we are here today having chosen to launch these celebrations here. Ons het gekies om hierdie celebrations hier op die Grand Parade in Kaapstad te begin. Want dit was hier dat Madiba 27 jare in die tronk sy eerste woorde aan die Suid-Afrikaanse volk gepraat het. Madiba het hier by hierdie plek wat ek nou staan vir die eerste keer gepraat het met almal van ons mense. After 27 years of being in prison, and Madiba het baie lekker gepraat. And when he spoke, he said, I speak not as a prophet, but as a humble servant of you, the people. It was here that Madiba declared that our march to freedom was irreversible. That was hier op hierdie stadium dat Madiba gesê het dat apartheid nie kan werk hier in Suid-Afrika nie. It was here that Madiba said, our freedom is at hand. And it was here on the 11th of February that Madiba said, we are now marching to our appointment with freedom. We are marching to our appointment, our destiny with freedom. And it was here that our freedom struggle got into top gear when Madiba spoke at this very place. So I want to remind you all that you are at a very historic place. History was made here where you are all standing. I am sure that everybody in South Africa remembers very well where they were on this day, at this very hour, 28 years ago, when the whole world was watching. The whole world had stopped to watch Madiba's release and his first speech. Many of you will remember where you were, but some of us who were involved in the whole process of getting not only Madiba but the other leaders to be released, remember this very day when we went to fetch Madiba at Victor Verster, and as we drove to Cape Town with him, all our people had gathered along the side of the road. They were standing on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side, in their thousands, black and white, as Madiba's convoy was traveling towards Cape Town so that he can come and deliver his first speech here. Members of the National Reception Committee were escorting Madiba, and some of them were driving. I remember Comrade Trevor Manuel was the chief chauffeur of the car that was leading the convoy. And as we were coming towards Cape Town, suddenly Nelson Mandela got lost. We didn't know where Nelson Mandela was. He had disappeared into some side road, and we all panicked. We were panicking because we thought finally the enemy had taken him again. Either they were going to send him back to prison or even kill him. But finally, we were very pleased when we finally brought him here together with his old comrade, Walter Sisulu, so that he can come and address our people. That day will forever remain etched in our collective memory as a moment of great joy and great hope. For all of us as South Africans, it was a new beginning. It represented the dawn of a new era in our country's turbulent history. It encouraged our people to believe even more firmly that the shackles of oppression and exploitation would fall away. It encouraged our people to believe that after many years of struggle, as well as sacrifice and suffering, a brighter day would soon rise upon our nation. That day strengthened our people's resolve to forge a new democratic society founded on unity and justice and equality. On that day, our people witnessed not only the return of a great revolutionary and a great freedom fighter, but the beginning of the end of a system that the world had described as a crime against humanity. On that day, our people saw the future of South Africa. They saw the future of this country represented in Nelson Mandela. He became the embodiment of their shared hopes, their dreams, their aspirations, and their sense of a common nationhood. In him, Nelson Mandela, our people saw a repository of all the best values and attitudes necessary, or attributes necessary, for a new, united, and democratic society in South Africa. The centenary of the birth of Nelson Mandela gives us a great opportunity for renewal and rebuilding. As we remember this great leader, uma sikhumbula uTata Madiba, iqhawe lomzabalazo wethu, isenze ukuthi sijonge ukuthi abantu bakuthi apha eMzantsi Afrika singayenza njani ukuthi bamanyane babe into eyodwa siqhube siye phambili singabantu abamanyene. It encourages us to explore what it means to be South African, to be reminded of what unites us, and to confront as one people all that continues to divide us. This year gives us an opportunity, as we remember Nelson Mandela, to reaffirm our vision of a non-racial society, to build a South Africa that belongs to all our people, all those who live in it, black and white. It also gives us an opportunity to reflect on the long path we have walked to reach this moment in our young democracy, to celebrate the achievements and acknowledge the shortcomings. Because, comrades, we have had great achievements as a young democracy and as a young nation. We have achieved a great deal, but we still have a number of shortcomings. So this year, we are called upon, all of us, to look at where we have come from and to look at our weaknesses, to look at the challenges that we face. As we emerge from a period of difficulty, a period of disunity and discord, this Nelson Mandela centenary year offers us what I would call a new beginning. Lo nyaka ka Nelson Mandela ufanele ukuthi usenze ukuthi sijonge ukuthi singaqala njani kabusha na, ukuthi lelizwe lakuthi singalivuseleza kanjani na. How can we renew and rebuild our country, and how can we instill new hope in the hearts and the minds of our people? It offers us an opportunity to restore our national life, the values and the principles for which Nelson Mandela stood for. It offers us an opportunity to return our struggle to the path along which Nelson Mandela led us. As we gather here to commemorate that pivotal moment in the life of our nation, let us affirm our determination as a people to realize the vision for which Nelson Mandela dedicated his life. Let us work and find a way of working together to unite our people, African, colored, Indian and white, to build a new nation in which all of us have equal opportunities and have equal rights. Let us find a way to work together to build a nation in which all our people have jobs, all our people have houses, all our people have food, and all our people have good education, good health, and security. That is what Madiba dedicated his life to, so that our people must have bread, so that our people must have jobs, so that our people must live in safe neighborhoods, so that the children of this country must get a decent education. We need to build a country in which all the people of our country can share in the wealth of our country, and that the wealth must not be shared by only a few people in our country. On the day of his release, Madiba had a special message for the people of Cape Town, the city that had been his home for 3 decades. He saluted the people of Cape Town for their tireless struggle, which he said had been a constant source of inspiration and strength and encouragement to all the political prisoners who were on Robben Island. So you, the people of Cape Town, as you led your daily lives, as you got involved in struggle, you continued to encourage Nelson Mandela as he was in Robben Island and Victor Verster, and we applaud you for having given Madiba a great deal of strength, and we say thank you to the people of Cape Town. Because it was in Cape Town that the first freedom fighters of our country launched their struggle against colonialism and exploitation. They had been drawn from the ranks of the Khoi and the San, and they took up arms to resist colonial occupation of their ancestral home. It was here that the first slaves rose up against their masters, declaring that all people shall be free and that none may claim ownership over another. It was here in Cape Town that a struggle was waged. For over 3 centuries, Cape Town was a city of resistance. It was a city of struggle. It was a city that was inherently opposed to oppression and colonialism. We remember too that it was in this city, on this day, 1966, that the apartheid government declared District 6, not far from where we have gathered today, as a whites-only area. By doing so, it established the grounds for one of the most traumatic episodes in the history of this city, the forced removal of over 60,000 people from the place that they had called their home. The scars of that brutal injustice remain in this city to this very day, a stark reminder that we have yet to fully correct this and many other historical wrongs. We remember today the many great leaders of our people who have called Cape Town their home. We salute such great freedom fighters as Sheikh Yusuf, Dr. Abdullah Abduraram, Sisi Gul, Alex Laguma, Z.R. Mahabani, Oscar Mpeta, Philip Kosana, Ray Alexander, Dora Tamana, John Mtini, Reg September, Dala Omar, Ben Turok, Eni Silinga, Esa Musa, Johnny Issel, Jakes Gerwel, Archie Sibeko, Mama Liseya, Comrade Sidina, Brawili, Comrade Ngose, Ashley Creel, and many others. These are the heroes and the heroines of this city. We also remember the Rivonia trialists who spent most of their time here in Cape Town. O Comrade Walter Sisulu, O Gavin Mbeki, Ahmed Kathrada, Raymond Mhlaba, Elias Mutwaledi, Andrew Mlangeni, who were imprisoned here alongside Madiba at Robben Island. Dennis Goldberg, who was also imprisoned in Pretoria. We pay tribute to all these heroes of our struggle. Like him, they were made to suffer for their convictions, and like him, their sacrifices and their courage and their indomitable spirit continues to inspire all of us. We send special wishes on this day to Nobel laureate Utata Wethu Archbishop Desmond Tutu, who, like Madiba, once lived in Vilakazi Street in Soweto, but who has now become a resident of Cape Town. We wish the Arch very well in every way that is possible. There are a few people who better embody the spirit of defiance and desire for justice that have characterized the struggles of this city than its adopted son, Desmond Mpilo Tutu. Archbishop, we wish you very well wherever you are. And as we are here in Cape Town, we say strength to you. Now, as Cape Town and the province of Western Cape confronts a devastating water crisis, we are once again called upon to unite in common struggle against a formidable enemy. We are called upon to protect the vulnerable and the poor, who are the most at risk from the social and economic and humanitarian effects of the drought. Because this drought that Cape Town is going through affects the poor people of this city and the province much more than it affects the rich people of this city. We commend the people of the Western Cape for their fortitude and their action individually and collectively to confront this crisis. If there ever was a time when we should all be working together as the people of Cape Town and as the people of this province, this water crisis is the time when we should all join hands and make sure that we address this challenge that we now face. As a nation, we have a responsibility to come to the aid of the people of this province and those similarly affected in neighboring provinces. For it is not the Western Cape only that is going through a drought and that has water shortages. A number of other areas in our country are going through the same challenge. We need the national government to work together in a much closer way with the province and the local government, as well as with business and labor and civil society, to ensure a common coordinated response to this crisis. As a nation, this is a challenge that we must confront together. Fellow South Africans, this is a year of celebration, but it also is a year when we must see action, action that is going to change and transform the lives of our people. It must be a year in which we work together to forge a new social compact for economic growth, for job creation, as well as for transformation. We must work together, as Madiba taught us, to push back the frontiers of poverty, to push back the frontiers of unemployment and inequality by providing quality education to the children of the poor and the working class. The alliance is also required to work together to achieve the objectives of our revolution. It must be the year in which we accelerate the return of the land to those from whom it was taken, and in which we plant the seeds of an agricultural revolution. A revolution in agriculture that will result in us being able to grow our economy, that will result in us being able to feed the nation and improve the lives of our people, particularly in the rural areas. It must be a year during which our people have hope that this great resource that was forcibly taken away from their forebears can indeed be returned to them. This must be a year in which we make great strides in unlocking the wealth of our economy, also a year in which we attract and unlock greater investment in those industries that have the greatest potential of growing our economy, including mining, manufacturing, agriculture, and tourism. This, comrades, must be a year in which we intensify efforts to unite the peoples of Africa through a continental free trade area where we improve infrastructure investment, where we increase cooperation in science and technology. It must be a year where we also lessen conflicts on our continent. We remember how Nelson Mandela traveled across the African continent, gathering support for our struggle against apartheid, and how the people of the rest of the continent loved him, and how he loved the people of our continent. In this year, comrades, the centenary of the birth of Nelson Mandela, South Africa will seek to find many ways of growing our economy. One of those will be to find ways of getting our young people into employment, of finding ways of creating jobs for the young people of our country. In this year, we will also be introducing the national minimum wage for all workers in South Africa. And in this regard, we have a great deal to be thankful to COSATU for having led the struggle and the negotiations together with other federations so that our country can have a national minimum wage. Come the 1st of May this year, the national minimum wage will have arrived. And that is going to mean that no worker in our country must earn less than the national minimum wage, except for those two sectors domestic workers and agriculture who have been given a period to catch up so that all other workers, they should be equal to all other workers. The minimum wage will improve the lives of 6.6 million low-paid workers in our country and make an important contribution to our ongoing efforts to tackle severe inequality in our country. Nelson Mandela would have been very pleased to hear that finally the objective and the aspiration that was set out in the Freedom Charter has now been achieved, because the objective of a national minimum wage was first articulated in 1955 when the Freedom Charter was drafted. We are pleased that we are achieving the objective that was set out by our forebears. In defense of Madiba's legacy, we will continue to wage a relentless war against corruption and mismanagement of the resources of our country. Nelson Mandela was totally committed against corruption, against theft, against the robbery of the assets of our people. We will continue with his legacy of fighting corruption and making sure that those who are corrupt and steal from the poor are brought to justice. That is what Nelson Mandela would have wanted. By so doing, comrades, we will be continuing with Nelson Mandela's legacy. Nelson Mandela continued to uphold the highest values. He was a man of great integrity. He was a man who had committed his life to serving the people unconditionally. And so, in terms of respecting and extending his legacy, we have no choice, we have no other way but to continue to fight corruption, because that is what Nelson Mandela will have done and will have wanted. We will at the same time continue to resist any form or attempt to capture our state institutions for the self-enrichment of a few. We know that Nelson Mandela would have been against the capturing of the institutions of our country. We will continue to act in Nelson Mandela's image by resisting that. Comrades, we are determined to rebuild the confidence of our people in the public institutions of our country and to restore the credibility of those who are elected to serve in those institutions. We will make sure that our state-owned enterprises become state-owned enterprises that will manage the assets of our people correctly, that the things that have been going wrong in our state-owned enterprises are put right, and the governance processes are put right, and that the operations of those state-owned enterprises are straightened out and that no single state-owned enterprise will work or operate in the interests of individuals or certain families. That we will make sure of. At this moment in our history, comrades, we are reminded of Madiba's extraordinary wisdom and insight of the leadership qualities. Amandla, Amandla, Amandla. Long live Nelson Mandela, long live. Long live Nelson Mandela, long live. Comrades, we are reminded of the extraordinary wisdom and insight of the leadership qualities of Nelson Mandela that prepared him to guide our country along the path of democracy. Nelson Mandela was imbued with great wisdom, and he was able, with great ability, to steer our country through the path of democracy in the formative years of our own freedom. And Nelson Mandela became very careful, became very focused on the objectives that needed to be achieved. It is these qualities that we should seek to understand, to appreciate, and to emulate as we embark upon this path of unity and renewal. It is Madiba's example that should inform our approach to the tasks that we undertake as a government, as a leadership, as a people, and as a country. As the leadership of the African National Congress, we are currently engaged, comrades, in discussions around the transition to a new administration, and specifically to resolve the issues of the position of the President of the Republic of South Africa. Comrades, the successful resolution of this matter has great significant consequences for the country and for the African National Congress. It is therefore important that we should manage these discussions that are currently underway with care and purpose, ensuring that we put the interests of South Africa first. The issue that we are seeking to do is to make sure that it is the interest of you, our people, that must be put first and not the interest of anyone else. Because it is therefore important that we should draw deep into Madiba's wisdom. We should draw deep into Madiba's style of doing things in an orderly manner, in a purposeful manner, in a way where we focus on the end result. Comrades, this is precisely what the leadership is doing right now. And we will be doing all this with a key objective of uniting our people. Nelson Mandela's objective in everything that he did was to make sure that the people of our country were united. If you look carefully, comrades, at the way in which Nelson Mandela handled the various challenging moments in the history of his own presidency, he was very careful. He was very, very clear that he always sought to put the interests of our people first, but he was also very clear about continuing to unite the people of South Africa and to unite the African National Congress. This is precisely what is also informing our approach, comrades, as we handle this whole question of the transition. But as you have all heard, the National Executive Committee of the African National Congress will be meeting tomorrow to discuss this very matter. And because our people want this matter to be finalized, the National Executive Committee will be doing precisely that. I say this, comrades, because we know you want this matter to be finalized. We know you want closure on this matter. Comrades, as you do want closure, we will be doing so, keeping our eyes on what is in the interest of all our people and how we continue to unite the nation. Because as we learn from Madiba, what was paramount with Madiba was the unity of our people. For him, a necessary condition for the unity of South African people was the unity of the African National Congress. Writing to the Kabwe Conference of the ANC in 1985, Madiba said, "Unity is the rock on which the African National Congress was founded." He went on to say, in the course of its history, the ANC has survived countless storms and has risen to eminence, partly because of the sterling qualities of its membership and partly because of each member has regarded himself or herself as the principal guardian of that unity. To lose sight of this basic principle is to sell out our birthright, to betray those who paid the highest price so that the ANC should flourish and triumph. It is the responsibility, therefore, comrades, of every leader who follows in the footsteps of Nelson Mandela. It is in the responsibility of every member of the ANC, and indeed every South African, to strive for the genuine unity. Firstly, yes, for members of the ANC, but for all other South Africans, for the unity of the people of this country. Genuine unity is that which is based on principle, integrity, and the commitment to the needs of the people. So we will keep that in mind as we finalize this matter. Comrades, we should not lose sight of the need to keep our people united. We must continue to draw lessons from Madiba's life. He embodied qualities that we seek in ourselves with regard to humility, forgiveness, compassion, and the unwavering love for our fellow human beings, regardless of race, ethnicity, religion, creed, sexual orientation, and the many other features which make humanity such a wonderfully diverse species. He was a revolutionary and a freedom fighter who was prepared to take up arms against injustice, who was also prepared to negotiate with his oppressor and who was able to reconcile with his jailers. Madiba's profound and abiding contribution to this nation, comrades, is best captured in the words he spoke during his trial in 1964 when he said, "I have fought against white domination and I have fought against black domination. I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and free society in which all persons live together in harmony and with equal opportunities." Madiba continued that it is an ideal which I hope to live for and to achieve. But if needs be, he said, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die. That is Nelson Mandela. So, comrades, you see that in Nelson Mandela, we had an outstanding son of the soil, an outstanding leader who was prepared to sacrifice his very life so that all of us could be free. Now, as we celebrate the centenary of his birth, let us remember the ideal for which he was prepared to die. For that is that ideal of a democratic and free society in which all persons live together in harmony with equal opportunities, which we, the children and the grandchildren and the great-grandchildren of Nelson Mandela are now tasked to achieve. This, comrades, is what Nelson Mandela would want us to achieve, to have a South Africa that is prosperous, a South Africa that is successful, and a South Africa that is democratic, non-racial, and non-sexist. Comrades, we have now arrived at a moment in the history of our country where we can relive that moment when Nelson Mandela was released, to generate the hope, to generate that excitement that enveloped us and that transported us to a new democratic South Africa. Right now, we have a new mood right across the country. We can capture that mood and move forward as one nation, one people, to ensure that we do indeed get to where Nelson Mandela wanted us to get to. Now, comrades, this year throughout the nation, we will indeed be celebrating Nelson Mandela's life. The whole world will also be doing precisely that. There will be celebrations overseas, in Europe, in America, in the rest of our continent, in South America, in Asia, and many other places. Let us join the world in this great celebration of Nelson Mandela's life, and let all of us as South Africans try to emulate Nelson Mandela and focus our attention on living our lives in exactly the same way that Nelson Mandela would have. Embracing the values, embracing the principles that Nelson Mandela had embraced, ridding our country of all the bad things that have been happening in the past, ridding our country of corruption, of theft, ridding our country of all the negative things. We have arrived, comrades, as we start these celebrations at a great moment. Let the spirit of Nelson Mandela transport us to a higher level. Let the spirit of Nelson Mandela lift us all and make sure that we become the South Africans that he wanted us to be, and we make South Africa the country of our dreams and Nelson Mandela's dreams. And as we say so, we say, long live the spirit of Nelson Mandela, long live. Long live the spirit of Nelson Mandela, long live. Hala la Madiba, halala. Hala la Nelson Mandela, halala. Long live the spirit of Albertina Sisulu, long live. Amandla. Amandla. Thank you, comrades. Let's enjoy the year of Nelson Mandela.
Amandla. Enkosi kakhulu Mongameli. Sine item nje ezimbini ngoku sivale. We're left with only 2 items and we close. First of all, we're going to call on the Nelson Mandela Museum. They traveled all the way from Mthatha to be here for a book on the values of Nelson Mandela as researched by the museum, which they want signed off by the president, and I'm going to call on the museum to do so.
Amandla. Amandla. Long live the spirit of Nelson Mandela, long live. Long live the spirit of Nelson Mandela, long live. The President of the African National Congress, Comrade Cyril Ramaphosa, national officials, the National Executive Committee of the African National Congress, members of the ANC, people of South Africa, Africa and the world, I greet you all. One cannot talk about Nelson Mandela without talking about the African National Congress, the organization that framed him and helped him develop the values that we are now going to be talking about today. So we saw it fit as a museum that when the ANC launches the official program of the centenary of Madiba, that we form part of that celebration. The museum does not in any way claim that these 10 values are comprehensive and complete. However, we're saying that there's a general consensus on these 10 values that they embody Madiba's character. And it is our contribution to the preservation of the legacy of Nelson Mandela. President, we talk about these values of freedom, non-racialism, justice, fairness, principled leadership, accountability, dignity and pride, courage and persistence, selflessness and service, humility, forgiveness and reconciliation. In his long walk to freedom, Madiba says, "For to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others." In other words, as we enjoy our freedom, we can all do so against all the oppressive conditions such as poverty and education. We should also be vigilant to protect the freedom of others and help those who may not be able to help themselves. We thank Dr. Butala Tema and Dr. and Professor Mngomezulu in helping us craft this book. Thank you.
Yes, if you are going to ask me to sign.
We're going to ask the President to help us and sign this book as an official launch of the book for it to be distributed to the country at large. Thank you.
Amandla, sizawucela uFaiz Jacobs azogqithisa ilizwi lombulelo, i-vote of thanks sivale sikhululeke sonke. Masithembe ke ukuba i-Western Cape will take leaders of the ANC to the West Coast, to the Boerland, to Central Karoo.
Well, welcome back to this special broadcast that of the ANC as it launches, of course, the centenary year of former President Nelson Mandela. We've just heard now from the President of the ANC, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, as he was outlining the program for the year that the ANC will be embarking on. I am now joined by ANC stalwart, Mr. Charles Nakula, to talk to us a little bit just about the day and the significance thereof. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. This, of course, is one of the most important occasions that define, the long path towards the attainment of freedom in South Africa.
But what we've seen today, or at least what we've seen from the presidency of Mr. Ramaphosa, is the fact that he's quite big on symbolism, and obviously today being one of those days, just how crucial is today for the ANC going forward, at least in this year?
I've listened to him speak, and I do believe that today's speech, of all the speeches he has made in recent times, has been an important one, which signifies that he is actually beginning to grow into the position of the president of the ANC.
What are some of the key things that for you stood out in his speech today that you think will put the ANC on a much better footing for the rest of the year?
He has defined what Madiba stood for. And he is saying we need to use that as a model as we redefine our program towards the fulfillment of Madiba's dreams. To me, that is very important.
As an ANC member, NEC member, do we have any idea as to how the talks are going between the president of the ANC and that of the Republic?
Well, I'm not a member of the NEC, and I don't know how they are discussing these matters, particularly because although my wife is a member of the NEC, we never discuss those things at all. We discuss the general issues that define our program, political program of the ANC, and how we bring about, therefore, thoroughgoing democracy for our people, which must yield a better life for all our people.
Talking about a better life for all our people, one of the things that we've seen in the presidency, very short presidency of Mr. Ramaphosa, is a renewed sense of hope within South Africans. Do you think that what does the ANC need to do to carry that forward for the rest of the year?
Unfortunately, he is also very aware of this new mood because he has mentioned it today. And he understands, therefore, that we do not, in fact, we cannot afford to disappoint our people. We have to ride the crest of this wave of hope so that we deliver by delivering, better services to our people.
Wow, thank you very much. Thank you very much. That was ANC stalwart Charles Nakula giving us a very short breakdown, of course, of just what he makes of the speech by ANC President Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa as he launches the centenary year of Nelson Mandela. Well, I think that concludes, in essence, our broadcast from here in Cape Town, where, the ANC was launching its centenary for Nelson Mandela. From us in Cape Town, it's over to you, Simpiwe, in studio.
The province must take us to the regions. Maisepa, we regions. Unufika pa. Tibana banyabandu abibengezanga apa. Thank you very much. Enkosi kakhulu. Okay. Kaniqhubele mnizandla. Okay. Siyanithanda. Enkosi.
90 degrees, jumbo dlala phezulu. 90 degrees. Mama kosi gazi, mama kosi gazi, mama kosi Nkosi kazi, ati sivote.